This is the Group 4 Team Project Pioneers. Our project is titled Construction and Launch of a New Restaurant and Branch. It's a 12-month proposal with a budget of 300,000 Canadian dollars. The objective is simple, is to plan, construct, and open a fully operational new restaurant. Also, the problem we are trying to solve is a growing demand for dining services in our target location, but there is no restaurant that exists there right now. So competitors are moving fast to claim that market. So the project gives us a clear mandate to just go ahead and just to make profit. Moving forward, I'll be running you through our work breakdown structure um, for the restaurant. Our work breakdown structure consists of 9 deliverables, and each deliverable is subdivided into further deliverables, then work packages. Now, starting from the project initiation stage, that's the first deliverable. Under the project initiation stage, we have the project setup and the project planning, which are sub deliverables, and each of those sub deliverables have activities that will have to move on, that will have to happen on there. And then we see the duration for each of the work packages. For the project initiation, which is a deliverable, it has 11 days. It also and then for the sub deliverables, which is project setup, has 6 days. Also, it also has a start time and a finish time for each deliverables and work packages. And we can see for the predecessors under the planning stage, we see the predecessor is 4. It means that we see the predecessor is 4. It means that the planning stage here has to be completed before the creating of work breakdown, schedule, budget, and register has to start. Then moving forward, we can see other of our deliverables, the sites and permits, and the sub-deliverables are site acquisition and permits. And under each of them, we can see the work activities. Also, we have the design. Under the design, we have the layout design. The layout design further has designing of kitchen, dining, and finalizing floor plan. Also, we have the interior design, which is also one of the sub-deliverable under the design deliverable. And we see it's to for interior finishes and furnitures and fixing. And we can see the predecessor here is 19, means that the 19 is the interior design. The interior design has to be finished before we can do the finishes of the furnitures and fixtures. So another deliverable is the construction. The construction is also subdivided into the site preparation, the kitchen build, the dining area build, and the support areas. We can also see the milestone. The milestone shows that 50% of the construction is done, and we can see the duration is 0 days, means that we are done at that period of time. We are done with that particular aspect of the project. Moving forward, we also have the supplier selection. We also have the staffing deliverables, and under the staffing deliverables, we have recruitment and training. Also, we have the marketing, which is also one of our deliverables. And under the marketing, we have the campaign development. And under the campaign development, we have activities that have to go on. We also have the event planning phase. Also, for the last deliverable, that's the opening and closing out. And under the opening and closing out, that's when we have to get the final regulatory approvals, the soft opening, the grand opening, and the project's closeout. So that's how we broke down our work breakdown structure. And you can see that each of our work breakdown structure has a duration. From the deliverables to each sub-deliverables to the work packages, they all have their duration stated. And they all have a start time to the finish time. And they also have their predecessors. Moving forward, I'll just be showing you an overview of our work breakdown structure just to show you how everything is going to be structured. We can see we can see the first phase, which is the project initiation. It's also broken down into project setup. The project setup is broken down into the development project, broken down to the developing projects, conduct kickoff meeting. We also have the planning sub-deliverable under the project initiation, and we have the creating of the work breakdown structure and the risk register. Then we have the milestone phase, means that's when we have to complete the project. So we can also see the same for every other sub-deliverable. So we can also see it in every other sub-deliverable, the design stage, the suppliers, the marketing phase, and the opening and closing phase. So, and under each of these sub-deliverables and work packages, we have our cost and budget. Moving forward, I'll be giving the audience to my teammates, Pema, to go ahead with the next phase of the project. Thank you.
Uh, I will start by sharing my own screen here. Now I will explain the task scheduling in our project using a project Libra. Uh, each task, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So each task in our project has been assigned in a specific duration where based on the complexity, where shorter tasks are mostly like in the initiations and planning phases. So while the longer durations are assigned on the construction activities. So we have also defined a task dependency to ensure a logical flow. Most tasks follow a finish to start relations. And for example, like construction activities start only after planning phases are completed. So project closing begins after construction and inspection are finished. So as shown and in the screen, like the arrow between the tasks represents the dependency and shows how activities are connected to each other. So this project tasking are mainly to understand the task flow to how the tasks flow to the project line and ensures the schedule is uh, more organized and more organized. Next, I will explain the Gantt chart of our project. The chart mostly shows the visual timeline of project tasks. Each bar represents a task, and the length of the bar shows its duration. This one. So at the top, we can see project timelines, including the start date and the end date. So the chart is also divided into major phases such as initiations, uh, planning, construction, closing with the help of which helps in organizing the project clearly. Key deliveries are also included within this one, within the phase such as completing the project plans and finishing the construction. We have also like milestones as shown in the diamond shape, this one, which represent important checkpoint in the project. Additionally, the chart also shows the task sequencing and the overlapping activities, which help us in understanding the which tasks can happen at the same time and which must follow a specific order. Now I can, now the Pankaj will present.
Okay. Thank you, Pema. Now I will start sharing by my screen. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now I will present the resource allocation for our project. As we all know that effective resource allocation and cost estimations are critical in project management as they are directly impact project efficiency, budgeting, and overall success. First, we have created the resource pool which includes all the resources required, which we mainly have people as the resources such as team leads, contractors, and managers with their pay rate and type of the rate which is flat. Each resource has its specific role and availability. Now I will show you how the resource usage looks like. So after that, we assign the resources to different tasks based on the project requirements. We can also see that resource usage in Gantt chart as well. As we can see, we have assigned marketing lead, lead and restaurant manager to different tasks. Now I will show you how our cost for the resources are looking like. Here we can see our different cost and budgets for different managers and leads. Now I will move to the now I will move to the project cost. Just to be clear, we made certain assumptions while estimating costs. For example, we assumed standard hourly rates for team members based on average market rates. We also assumed that resources are used efficiently without delays or overtime. These assumptions help simplify the cost estimation while keeping it realistic. Now we'll explain the project cost estimation. Our cost is directly related to the resources we are using in our case, as we are dividing our task with the proper budget allocation to our team leads and managers, so we have them as our sources. Each resource in the project has been assigned at a standard rate, which represent the cost of using that resource per hour or per task. Project Library automatically calculates the cost of each task and based on the assigning and it also calculates the task by combining all task cost, which we can see in the information tab. The system provides the total project cost. This helps us to ensure that project stays within the budget and allows better financial planning. Now I will hand over to my teammate Lemo.
Pema, can you share the screen, please? Thank you, Pankaj. Now let's go through the important part of our schedule, which is critical path. Here, a critical path is the longest sequence of tasks in our project that must be completed so that we can open our restaurants by the deadline. And here it represents the no flexibility zone. And to identify the critical path in our project, we can simply look at the chart at the right side of the screen and look for the color of the bars, because the software highlights the critical path in red with a checkered patterns. And if we look closely at the rate chain, the most important thing to notice is that there is no space or gap between these red bars, and this visual confirms that we have a zero float and there is no buffer time or a wiggle room. So the finish date of the one task is the exact start date of the next task. In our restaurant project, the critical part starts from the foundation itself, the project initiations and the setup. The because like the we cannot commit resources or sign contract until the project is officially initiated, and this is our starting trigger. And if we move on to the phase two, the execution split. The in this phase, both the path are parallel, like we have site preparation and documentation running at the same time. Both are read, so both must hit their milestone exactly for the project to continue. And now moving to the build and install. um, these are linked back to back for a functional reason. Like we cannot install specialized ovens or walk-in coolers until the kitchen structure and the utility lines are completed. And lastly, the staff training and the final inspections. Like the critical part continues here, because like we cannot open the restaurant to the public until the trained and health inspection have been signed off. So the rule here is simple. If any talks on this rate checkered path is delayed by even one day, our entire grand opening moves back by one day. Now my friend Pankaj will conclude our presentation.
Thank you, Limo. To conclude, our project demonstrate how effective project management tools and techniques can be used to plan and execute. It also shows how to control a project successfully. Through Project Library, we were able to create a clear project schedule, define task dependencies, and identify the critical path, which helps ensure that the project is completed on time. In addition, we carefully allocated resources to different tasks based on their roles and responsibilities. This also allows us to maintain efficiency and avoid overloading any single resource. We also analyze the project cost by assigning standard rates to each resource. Using this approach, Project Library helps us calculate the total cost of the project, giving us better control over the budget. It also shows how tools like Project Library can support decision making and improve project performance in real world scenarios. Thank you.